Good morning once again, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Living Hope Today study. Today we have the great privilege of looking at 1 Chronicles chapter 19. You know, there's a thing in life where when you walk in the blessing of God, you're supposed to have a good life. I mean, He blesses, He gives, He's wonderful, and trouble is something that happens when you disobey or somehow you do the wrong thing. At least that's what a lot of people think, that the trouble means you must have gone wrong with God somewhere, and good things mean, well, you must be walking in the light as He is in the light and everything's good. Well, today in 1 Chronicles 19, we're going to see King David. He has definitely been blessed by God. God has repeated it over and over that David's line is going to last for eternity. There's going to be a king on his throne forever. Even King Jesus, we know. But does that mean David's not going to see trouble, even though he's walking in the blessing and the promise of God? No, watch today. You'll see that despite the fact that he has all these promises from God, trouble still comes. Look at this. In the course of time, Nahash, king of the Ammonites, died, and his son succeeded him as king. David thought, I will show kindness to Hanun. Now that's good, isn't it? I'm going to do something nice. I'm the king. I have all power. I could look at this as an opportunity to get in there and take over his kingdom because maybe they're weaker now with this power transition. But no, I'm going to try to honor Nahash, king of the Ammonites. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to show kindness to Hanun, son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness to me. So David sent a delegation to express his sympathy to Hanun concerning his father. Wow, look at this. When David's men came to Hanun in the land of the Ammonites to express sympathy to him, the Ammonite nobles said to Hanun, do you think David's honoring your father by sending men to you to express sympathy? In other words, let's question David's motives, all right? Haven't his men come to you to explore, to spy out the country and overthrow it? Oh, see, we don't trust David at all. He's not here to be nice to you, king. He's here to figure out how he can overthrow you. So Hanun seized David's men. He shaved them. He cut off their garments in the middle at the buttocks, and he sent them away. Well, if you know anything about Jewish culture, but not just Jewish culture, any culture, this is absolutely humiliating to these guys, right? When someone came and told David about the men, he sent messengers to meet them, for they were greatly humiliated. So now trouble is coming. David is trying to be nice. David is offering his sympathies, his condolences, and what's he given in return? Suspicion, and now his guys have been greatly humiliated. The king said, stay at Jericho till your beards have grown, and then come back. And when the Ammonites realized that they had become a stench in David's nostrils, Hanun and the Ammonites sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire chariots and charioteers from Aram, Naharaim, Aram Maacah, and Zobah. You see, now, this guy Hanun, that's the king of the Ammonites, he could easily say, you know what, David, we made a big mistake. We're so sorry. Please forgive us. And there would have been some sort of peace negotiation and reconciliation. No, but Hanun decides to dig in. Let me get an alliance going here so that if David decides to come against us, we can all together fight him. So if David's home, reading his papers today, and he's thinking, what did I do, Lord? How come I'm in this place where I was trying to offer love and a nice gesture, and instead of being received with a hug and a thank you, I get received with humiliation? Oh, why is this happening? Have I done something? Am I out of your blessing for some reason? Well, this is a good lesson for us in how God works. Look at this. They hired 32,000 chariots and charioteers, so this is just telling us the power that Hanan assembled against David, as well as the king of Maacah and his troops who came and camped near Medeba while the Ammonites were mustered from their towns and moved out for battle. Wow, we're going to have a war. We're going to have a war over this terrible humiliation. And on hearing this, David sent Joab. You remember Joab is his commander of the army, out with the entire army of fighting men. I guess we're going to fight. Here we go. The Ammonites came out and drew up in battle formation at the entrance to their city, while the kings who had come were by themselves in the open country. Joab saw that there were battle lines in front of him and behind him, so he selected some of the best troops in Israel, and he deployed them against the Arameans. Now notice, in a little section like this, you don't see Joab fasting and praying, Lord, what should we do? No, this is a military guy that knows how to fight, and he comes up with a plan. But guess what? Underneath all of this is God's blessing and is God's guidance, and God is helping situations to move in a way that it's going to secure the victory for David. So Joab takes his action. He sees two fronts, so he splits into two groups. He put the rest of the men under the command of Abishai, his brother, and they were deployed against the Ammonites. All right, so now we're fighting on two fronts. Joab said, if the Arameans are too strong for me, then you are to rescue me. But if the Ammonites are too strong for you, then I will rescue you. We're going to end up fighting all of them if we have to, but if you can take yours and I can take mine, we'll achieve the victory that way. Be strong, and let us fight bravely for our people and the cities of our God. And look at this line, church. It's very important. The Lord will do what is good in his sight. God knows these circumstances are here. God understands how he can accomplish his will through these circumstances. Even though this is real trouble, there's war, people are going to die. In the end, guess what? God is moving the circumstances to bring victory and more blessing to David. In fact, now David, instead of just fighting the Ammonites, he's going to have this whole alliance to fight, and he's going to wipe out all his enemies, or at least many of them, in one swoop. 14, then Joab and the troops with him advanced to fight the Arameans. And look at that, they fled before him. Not much of a fight. We showed up to war with you and you ran. When the Ammonites saw that the Arameans were fleeing, they too fled. So both fronts end up with these armies running away from the power that God has given the armies of Israel. They too fled before his brother Abishai and went inside the city. So Joab went back to Jerusalem. After the Arameans saw that they had been routed by Israel, they sent messengers and had Arameans brought from beyond the river, with Shophak, the commander of Hadadezer's army, leading them. When David was told of this, he gathered all Israel and crossed the Jordan. So now we're not done fighting. Here comes another force. He advanced against them and formed his battle lines opposite them. David formed his lines to meet the Arameans in battle, and they fought against him. So instead of fleeing in verse 17, we have actual war, but they fled before Israel. Oh, wait a minute. There they go. They're running again. And David killed, listen to this, 7,000 of their charioteers and 40,000 of their foot soldiers. He also killed Shophak, the commander of their army. In other words, it's a devastating defeat for the Arameans. When the vassals of Hadadezer saw that they had been defeated by Israel, oh, look at this. Here you go. Talk about the blessing of God. They made peace with David, and they became subject to him. You know what that means? They have to do whatever he says. I'm sure that's economic in most ways, where they have to supply him with money or food or whatever he tells them, because they are now subject to him. So all this trouble shows up. David does what he needs to do to just move through the events, but God decides what's going to happen. David achieves a victory over all of these enemies, and his blessing is increased, and God's power is fully displayed. So we shouldn't think that trouble can never come to us. Even though we haven't offended God in our daily lives, well, maybe, we sin because our sinful natures drive us to bad decisions, but we repent, we're walking with Him. God, I don't know of anything that I'm doing that you hate. Help me understand how to follow you. We're walking with Him. Trouble comes. Well, what do we understand? We understand that when it tells us that all things work together for good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose, we see in 1 Chronicles 19 that the truth of that verse, that it works out for the benefit of the one who follows the Lord and the benefit of the Lord Himself. The enemies are subdued. We end the chapter here, so the Arameans were not willing to help the Ammonites anymore. So there's a broken alliance now that there's been victory in Israel. What can we learn? Well, trouble doesn't mean that we're out of the blessing of God. And God does respond to accomplish His will through us, no matter what hard circumstance we may face. Hold on to that, church. If you're in a hard time today, hold on to that. God is at work, even if you don't see Him directly. God bless you, church. Serve Him well today.
Who is it who for sinners shed His blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood? It's Jesus. But do you know who He is? He's the image of the invisible God, and He's the brightness of His glory, the first, the last, the future, the past. He is God.